All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about the one metric that can make or break any startup, runway. And look, it's so much more than just the cash you have in the bank. It's your time, it's your leverage, honestly, it's your lifeline. And that's really the perfect way to think about it, isn't it? This isn't some static number on a spreadsheet. It's a constant ticking clock that every single founder feels every single day. The pressure is always on. And this number, this is why it all matters so much. About a quarter of all startups fail in their very first year. And the number one reason, time and time again, they just run out of money. So you see, understanding your runway isn't just about good accounting, it's about mastering the entire game of survival. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to move past the simple and frankly dangerous survival math. Then we'll get into the efficiency equation that investors are obsessed with right now. After that, we'll completely reframe how you think about runway, turning it into a weapon. And finally, we'll wrap up with a new playbook you can use immediately. Okay, so the first big mistake, the one that catches so many founders out, is not being truly honest with the numbers. It's really easy to fall into this trap that makes you feel safe when you're actually standing on thin ice. And this is the culprit right here, gross runway. You know the one. You take all your cash, divide it by what you spend each month, and boom, you have your number. The only problem is, this number is basically lying to you. It's only showing you half the picture. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Trusting your gross runway is a trap because it completely ignores the money coming in. The real deal, the number that actually matters, is your net runway. This is where you take your cash and divide it by your net burn. That's your expenses minus your revenue. Let's say you have $1 million and spend $200K a month. Gross runway says you have 5 months. But what if you're making $100K on revenue? Well, your net burn is only $100K. All of a sudden, you've got 10 months of runway. That's not just a different number, that's the difference between life and death for your company. So, once you're using the honest math, you have to ask a much bigger question. Just because you're surviving, does that actually mean you're building something investors want to fund? Because let's be real, survival is the bare minimum. It's not the goal. And that brings us right to the next piece of the puzzle. See, in today's world, investors are just looking for growth at any cost. No, they're digging in and they are looking for efficient growth. And they've got a killer metric to measure it. It all comes down to this, the burn multiple. This is the ultimate health check for a startup. It answers one brutally simple question. How many dollars are you burning to get one new dollar of recurring revenue? It just cuts through all the noise and tells an investor everything they need to know about your business model. And here's exactly how an investor reads this chart. If your burn multiple is under 1, you're crushing it. That's excellent. 1 to 1.5, still really great. But once you start creeping up past 1.5 and towards 3, that's a warning sign. And anything over 3, that's not just a red flag, that's a deal killer. It's the moment in a pitch meeting when VCs start checking their phones. This one number can literally make or break your fundraising. You know, if all that math sounds a little abstract, let me put it this way. Just think of it like the fuel efficiency of a car. You know, it's miles per gallon. It's a perfect way to picture what's really going on. And this just nails it, doesn't it? You could have 2 companies, both growing at the exact same speed, say 100 miles an hour. But one is a total jazz guzzler, getting 5 mpg. The other is a super efficient hybrid, getting 50 mpg. Which one do you think is actually going to make it across that long, lonely desert between funding rounds? And that is the unlock. Being able to survive that journey changes everything. Because when you prove you can grow efficiently, the whole power dynamic shifts. You're not begging for cash anymore. You're not just playing defense. You get to go on the offensive. Which brings us to the final, and honestly, the most powerful way to think about all this. You have to stop seeing your runway as a countdown to disaster and start seeing it for what it can be, a powerful strategic weapon. Look, the game has totally changed. The old rule of thumb was to raise enough for 18 months, but fundraising is way harder now, and the time between rounds has gotten longer. That 18-month buffer that used to be safe, today, it'll get you killed. The new safe is 24 months. And if you really want a strategic advantage, you're aiming for 36. This is not a luxury anymore. It is an absolute necessity. I love this analogy. Think of your company as a glider. Your runway is your altitude is your cash. And your burn rate? That's gravity, constantly pulling you down. A longer runway gives you more altitude. More altitude gives you more time, more options. It lets you pick the best landing strip, not just desperately aim for the closest one. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the most important part. What do you actually do about all this? Well, whether you're a founder or an investor,
Here's the new playbook. For all you founders out there, it's this simple. Step 1, the minute this is over, go calculate your net runway. No more excuses. Step 2, become absolutely obsessed with your burn multiple. Know it, track it, improve it. And step 3, make it your top priority to build a strategic buffer of at least 24 months.
And hey, for the investors in the audience, the message is just as clear. You have to stop getting dazzled by flashy top-line growth. Instead, you need to scrutinize the burn multiple. That's how you'll find the truly disciplined operators who know how to build sustainable businesses, not just the ones who are good at spending other people's money. So I'll leave you with this one last question to really think about for your own company. After everything we've talked about today, is your runway just a terrifying countdown clock ticking away to zero? Or have you turned it into the strategic weapon you need it to be to win? Because ultimately, that choice is up to you.